This is what this computer is running on. Unix. That's the program that's behind all of this stuff. I'm sure of it. It's Unix. Now, what's a Unix? Eunuch is just a play on words because a eunuch is androgynous. It's a man who's been castrated. Therefore, not really a man, not a woman. He's like in between. You notice their logo here, and even this very old one is the big black X. So we know what that is. So let's move on over to here. Let's go over to this one over here. And what do we got? We got the same thing. The big black X. Same thing. Let me explain something to you, the way that I see it. There's two worlds going on here at once. One is inside the brain of this computer, which gets relayed to you on the television and on radio and in music. That world creates the false reality that you live in out here in the real world that's made out of biological things, because it shapes your mind and it gets you to believe things that aren't real. So there's two worlds going on here, but the real, but really, it's just coming out of whatever this cube thing is. But yet the officials of the planet, the governments, go along with this because they're aware of this. They're aware of it. They know, and so they mold and they create this reality which doesn't really exist, because it really is trees and birds and bumblebees and all of that stuff. But this thing has created the illusion of all of this chaos going on. That's why all of these stories are coded with the 3, 6, and 9. The comment sections on YouTube, the things that don't make sense, they're just programs within programs within programs. Remember the story when Jesus cast out the demon from the man that was possessed? It said that the demons ran into the sea. They ran into the sea. Sea is 3. Sea is also, it means light. It has to do with information. It has to do with the writing. See, there's one guy on here, 420 Proto Man or whatever his name is. He knows this stuff. C++, C. You're into the C. It's information. What's going on up here is not real. It's being forecast on the television and broadcast on the television. And people accept it as fact. That's the problem, because there is no fact to it. There's no fact to any of this. That's why you can look at these pictures and find all of these mistakes, because that thing doesn't live in the reality world that we do, and so it makes constant mistakes. If your eyes are keen, you can catch them. Here's another one of the logos. This is the brain of the thing. That's why it's split into 4 sections. Okay? Here it is down here. We all know what that is, right? We know what that is. We all know what this is. Here it is here. So these two are connected, right? Here's your sine waves, and the little penguin is Masonic because it's black and white. It's the same group of people that have claimed that they've been persecuted forever. They're the same ones that changed all the histories and made themselves out to be the children of this thing. It's all bullshit. It's all a gag. God speaks to me in Unix. It's probably pretty much the truth right there, folks. Pretty much the truth. And every one of you dickheads out there that believes what you're seeing on TV, that it's really coming from here, is an idiot. Go listen to the song, The Mesopotamians. They live, nobody's ever seen them. Nobody's ever seen any of the Mesopotamians, the rulers, Hammurabi. Nobody's ever seen the guy, yet his picture's on the side of the U.S. Justice Department. Why is that? Because they don't exist. They never existed. When Jesus asked the demon, "What is your name?" he said, "My name is Legion." Here's how Legion works. You got one program, it splits off into all of these other programs because it's a recreation of this one particular program. And you notice every one of these is connected back to the original. You ever got a virus on your computer where the screen kept replicating? Looked just like the one before it? Even in the Matrix. Smith, Agent Smith, right? They were all the same looking dude because they came from one guy. And looking on YouTube, what is everybody on here talking about? Agent, this and that. Who the fuck calls themselves an agent? Because in their world, that's what they're called, I guess. I mean, everybody all of a sudden thinks you're James Bond on YouTube? Fuck off. This ain't the world that I live in. This is the world where this thing exists within its own parameters. The north, south, east, and west, top and bottom. That's a cube. That's the brain. Here's another logo for the same program. An ox. What is the ox? It's the lower left-hand corner. Remember how many times I've shown you guys that? It's a computer. It's a computer. There's no doubt in my mind that's what's running the news media. That's why it all comes from one source. Stop believing the TV. Stop believing the radio. The things that you do see that are physical are because there's people working in concert with the programs. In other words, the program says, let's do this, and so they got to make it look real up here. But there's really no validity between it. It's just, it's basically just playing out a script. So this thing comes up with the ideas, the humans carry it out. But it's a specific group, the group that cries, oh, we've been so persecuted. 6 million, 6 is the key word there, right? 6 million of us were killed. See, that's the key word that throws that whole thing into the trash. 6 million were killed. See, the numbers give them away after a while. Once you start to know what to look for. Why is it 6? And overall, there were 72 million. See, now that's 9. So we're back to 6 and 9 again. It gives itself away. So just stop believing in it. That's all. It's just generated, and there's people on the outside working to make this thing look like it's really going down, but it's not. It's not. Sure, they may destroy stuff up here and do all of that, but just remember that's being done by the hand of man. Okay, let's say there are some beings living in the earth. It's the same thing. It's not a real reality. They're creating a reality for us up here that only exists in their minds down there. That's all. And so when they make these things happen, like the World Trade Center and all of that, people assume that it's real and that there's really these boogeymen running around when it has nothing to do with it. Nothing. Does this mean there is no God? Absolutely not. That's not what this is about. Of course there is. Who made all these trees and all of that stuff? Because that stuff's the real guy. The shit on TV, everything's got a purple tinge to it and all of that, that's the imposter. So, I don't know what else to tell you. It's eunuchs. It's eunuch. Remember the eunuch? The androgynous ones, the ones that want to take over? The watchers? It's these guys.